Very good day to you all. We have learned lesson 1. Now let's go and start lesson 2 of class 10. And what is our lesson? Respiration. Respiration, usually what we understand is it is about breathing. Breathing, and all the organs that are involved here are nose, lungs, and these are the only respiratory organs, and this is all about respiration is what we might have understood in our previous classes. In our you might have learned in 6th class, 7th class like that. But now you might have read it here, the energy producing system. Here we are not talking about respiration as breathing system. We are learning it as energy producing system. So how is respiration in any way connected to energy production? That we are going to learn in detail in this present lesson. So welcome you all into this first session of second lesson, 10th class Nrcs Jnanam. First let us we already know that respiration is the organs that are involved in respiration are, as we already know, nose and then lungs. Of course, in respiratory system we will learn about various things like bronchi, trachea, and then pharynx, larynx and all that. So, actually this lesson for Nrcs students, you already learned this lesson. I already explained this in our class. For science school students and Nrcs, I request you all to keep your textbooks open and then go through this. Before we start and get in detail into the lesson, I want you to once recollect the lesson that we learned in first lesson, nutrition lesson. There I told you about two important scientists, the people who made great innovations like discovery about oxygen. Joseph Priestley, the person who discovered oxygen but did not name it, and Lavoisier, who discovered, who named or gave the coined oxygen. And after all this, people have done so many experiments. There are particularly few things that we need to remember. In the beginning, they were not called like oxygen or carbon dioxide. They were called, for example, carbon dioxide was called as chalky air. Chalky because it looks like when it is poured into lime water, it turns milky. Maybe for that reason, or like you already see, this is a very common language for all of us. When we go out and a vehicle is going in front of us, we see smoky color. That is, of course, is carbon dioxide mixed with various other gases, of course, still. So chalky gas. And then they also call it as vitiated gas. What does it mean? It means that oxygen, after the gas which is helping to burn is used up, the left out air is vitiated gas. This is how we understood. So these two gases, what is the major role played by them in our class we are going to, in our lesson we are going to learn, and that is in respiratory system. Fine. Now let us see right from human beings respiratory system. From what you already know, we will learn and make it a little extra learning about what you are supposed to learn. Let us see. We breathe in. We breathe in what? We breathe in oxygen is a usual answer that we give. But do we select, or our nostrils, do they have the capacity to choose the oxygen molecules from the atmosphere and then breathe only that? Do we have the capacity of filtering the atmosphere which has various gases in it and then only breathe in that? There is no such possibility. So what do? We take in oxygen, we take in carbon dioxide, we take in nitrogen. In what quantities? In the quantities they are available in atmosphere. What are the quantities they are available in atmosphere? Oxygen is available in 21%. Carbon dioxide is available only 0.03. Of course, because of this extra pollution. Now the 0.03 is not at all a clear data that I am giving you here. Too much of pollution. Of course, another thing is because of COVID and too much of lockdown and continuously 3-4 months of no vehicles on the roads and so many industries closed and shut down. The atmosphere has become clean. Maybe we will get back to this percentage, which is actually good for us, good for plants, good for the whole atmosphere, the earth. Now nitrogen 78% of it is nitrogen. So what are we breathing? If we cannot filter out oxygen and breathe in only oxygen, then what are we doing? We are taking all these three gases together while we are breathing. Just imagine, you are breathing like that. Without your knowledge, you are continuously breathing. When you are breathing, you are taking these three gases in this particular ratio, in this percentile. Then, but what are we actually required? We require only oxygen. So the body is taking in oxygen. It means that, and what does it give out? In our primary classes we learn that we take in oxygen, we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So 10th class also do we learn like that only? No, here you have to learn be a little superior to the others' knowledge. That is, we breathe in oxygen, along with that we breathe in the other airs also which are present in the atmosphere, and then we breathe out only carbon dioxide. No, again, you cannot do like that. You are breathing out 16% of oxygen. Oxygen is actually required to us. Then why are we releasing 16% of oxygen? That you will understand once we get into the lesson in detail. And then we are actually exhaling, breathing out 4.4% of carbon dioxide. Now, there is a miracle happening here. I want you to tell me how it is after we complete the lesson. Remember this question. I want you to explain how 0.03% of carbon dioxide which we inhaled became 4.4% of carbon dioxide once we exhaled. After this session, when I ask you questions, I expect you to give me a reasonable answer without referring to any textbook, any material. With your own understanding, I want you to explain that to me. So remember this question. And then nitrogen. Nitrogen, in no way we need the nitrogen. Even if we need it also, we need the nitrogen actually. Our body is maximum composed of proteins and all are composed of nitrogen. But this atmospheric nitrogen is of no use for us. Like we learned in 9th class, atmospheric nitrogen is no use even for plants. It has to be fixed by bacteria in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Then it is useful. So, as it is, this is of no use for us. So what do? Do we keep it in our body? No, along with the exhaled air, along with the oxygen, along with carbon dioxide, we release 78% of nitrogen again. Now, there are many questions I can ask from here. Which is the gas which is inhaled more and exhaled less? Remember, which is the gas which is inhaled more and exhaled less? Answer to this question after this session is completed. Which is the gas which is inhaled less but exhaled more? And the third question is, which is the gas which is inhaled in the same quantities as it is exhaled out? By saying this, now fourth question, by saying this, can you please explain to me which is the most useful gas to us and which is not useful gas to us? So till now I asked you 5 questions. One of it is, how is it that carbon dioxide exhaled less but inhaled less but exhaled more? First question. Which of this gas is exhaled more and inhaled more and exhaled less? Which of this gas is inhaled less but exhaled more? Which of these gases is same in inhaled and exhaled gases? These are all actually very easy. Just listen to these questions, answer to them later. So this is how it is. Now let me explain to you. That means oxygen 21%, though it is being taken in, 16% only can be used, and by the time it is exhaled, we are releasing 16%. That means how much are we using? We are using 5%. We have used 5% of it. And then here, how much are we extra sending? How much extra are we sending? So you can do the calculation. Here, no change. So by seeing this, you will understand how we can understand this. So this is about the inhaled gas, exhaled gas, used and unused, or unused and processed. This is the first part of gases, inhalation and exhalation. So now we need to even understand what is meant by inhalation and exhalation. Inhale, inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation, inhale, breathe in, exhale, breathe out. It can also be called inspiration. This is not the inspiration like synonym of motivation or something. Expiration. Inspiration, expiration. Here what happens in the lungs? First, oxygen is taken, carbon dioxide is released. Here, lungs expand. In inhalation, lungs expand. Here, lungs, what do you call? Expansion and compress. Yeah, if I get a better term, I'll change it later. Expansion and depression, compression, like that. Then what else happens here? Inhalation, this is simple meaning that we understand. These are the differences between inhalation and exhalation. Now after explaining the respiratory system of human beings, then we can add few more points to that. So because I want you to understand that better, I am going to explain this lungs, respiratory system in human beings. When I am drawing the diagram, I am going to explain this, and I expect you to learn it while I am drawing and explaining to you. Let us see, because the board is so small, I am trying to make it so minimum size diagrams. So I expect you to follow me when I am doing. This is nasal cavity, nostril, and then this is pharynx. This is nose. This is nostril. This area is pharynx. Here you find epiglottis. Epiglottis plays a major role in breathing. So I want you to remember, here there is a box-like thing. We call it larynx. Remember the spellings of pharynx and larynx. And then we have trachea. Trachea, which has cartilaginous rings. This is trachea. And these are cartilaginous rings. Cartilaginous rings to hold the trachea upright, because it is a very delicate pipe-like thing. That's why we have this cartilaginous rings to hold it upright so that it does not collapse. And then this two bronchi, because there is not much place. Two of them together we call it as bronchi. Alone we call it as bronchus, because this side there is not much space. I am drawing your lung here. This side of the lung has 3 lobes. Okay, and this side of the lung has 2 lobes. And the reason for that is because there is a heart embedded in this, between these two. And then this is, always remember, when I am drawing respiratory system, this is right side and this is left side. Whenever I am drawing any of our body parts, then always remember this side is always considered as right side. This is left side. So this is left lung, this is right lung. Next, this is bronchus, further divided into bronchiole. This is further divided into bronchiole. Okay, and this is not because I am drawing few, it doesn't mean only few are there. If you observe carefully, every lung has millions of bronchioles. The bronchus is divided into millions of bronchioles, and every bronchiole ends up in a bubble-like thing. We call that as, every bronchiole ends in a alveolus. Alveolus. Single is alveolus, and many we call it as alveoli. So this is how. And when we are thinking about lung, we always have to remember, see, when you get electronic gadgets, to protect them when they are being parceled or they are being sold, when you open the cover, you see bubbly kind of cover package, and most of us know we like to prick the bubbles like this and tuck sounds will come. Exactly like that our lungs are. So many alveoli, millions of alveoli are there inside to increase the surface area of absorption of the gases, or to send out the gases, whatever. I will explain to you individually later. So I mean individually about the alveolus I am going to explain to you later. So this is how it is. Then this is the human respiratory system. Now let us see nose. And you might have already learned that in our nose we have mucus layer and we have fine tiny hair-like structures, hairs. Why do we have that? We have hairs so that the air with so many pollutions, because in the air microorganisms will be there, dust particles will be there, so much of pollution is there, and God has given us such a nice filtering system inside our nose to protect ourselves. The hairs in the nose, what they do is they filter. And if by any chance the minutest particles which escaped the hairs, then what happens is they go and stick to the sticky mucus which is there in our nose. In our nose always it will be wet because the mucus is continuously being replenished with mucus layers, and it keeps that slimy and sticky, so that no foreign particles, no pollution or any dust particles or any deterrence for our health can enter into our windpipe. So nose protects it like that. In nostrils, of course, nose and nostrils. And then pharynx. Once it goes inside, here we have pharynx. Pharynx is actually a common place for both food pipe as well as windpipe. I mean esophagus as well as trachea. Then in this place we have epiglottis. What is epiglottis? Epiglottis is a flap-like muscular structure. Flap-like muscular structure, imagine it will be like this. It will be closing the food pipe. It's always seen closing the food pipe. And whenever we are eating something, it will open and close the windpipe. See, imagine this is closing the food pipe like this. Whenever we are eating anything, it will open so that the food will be entered inside, and it will close the windpipe, that means trachea, so that the food will not enter into the windpipe. What happens if food enters into the windpipe? You might have noticed many times when babies they choke, mothers will lift them, beat them on their head and see that the food comes out of their breathing pipe, windpipe. So it is actually dangerous. That's why, and God, that's why very cleverly the wise wisdom in keeping the epiglottis here so that it's always covering. Continuously what are we doing? Are we eating or are we breathing? We are continuously breathing. That's why what God did is, very cleverly, this is appreciation we need to remember, children. He kept the epiglottis always closed. I mean closing the windpipe, food pipe. Because we eat food very not as continuously as we breathe in. So whenever we are eating food, then it will shift to the side and close the windpipe. Notice any time when we are eating, we will not be able to, when we are swallowing particularly. When we are eating, it is okay. But when we are swallowing, we won't be able to breathe. Like that we do, and then we breathe. It means that when we are eating or swallowing food, the epiglottis is covering the windpipe. That's why we won't be able to breathe properly. So these all things we need to know about ourselves. What is our body? How is it working? Because it is a miracle. It is not something like, okay, we are born, we are living, we are breathing, we are eating, we are drinking. No, we need to know about ourselves. How we are eating, how we are breathing, how we are working. How is this human body working in such a beautiful way? Always you are not taking care of yourself, which you are actually supposed to do, but we don't usually care for. We care for every other man-made thing, but we sometimes forget that we ourselves are a miracle. We need to take care of ourselves very well, right? So let's not get diverted. So epiglottis. Epiglottis is a small muscular flap-like structure which is present in the pharynx, which always keeps the food pipe closed. Whenever we are swallowing, it is opening the food pipe and closing the windpipe so that the transition, swallowing of the food takes place properly. If that is not working, then there is a danger sometimes that a person might lose his life. Next, coming to larynx. Pharynx and larynx, remember the spellings. They sound a little different, but they are really biological terms. Let's say are biological terms. Right. Larynx. Larynx we need to remember as blah 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 blah. If we are able to talk, it is because of the voice box which is present in our larynx. Do one thing, all of you keep your finger here and keep talking. You feel the vibrations. The same thing, try to put here and do. You keep on talking, but you don't get any vibrations. Why, when this is all windpipe, why we get vibrations here but not here? That is because here you have trachea. And how is this trachea working? In trachea you have a voice box. Voice box is like this. Imagine that trachea is like this. And this is voice box. In this voice box you have strings like things inside. Vocal cords, we call them as vocal cords. Vocal cords. Just like for a guitar, the strings will be there when the sound is, the strings are played like this, you get sounds. Exactly like that, in our trachea, the cords are like this. And when we are talking, what is happening is, the pressure of the air goes inside and makes some noise. That noise comes out like in a processed manner, and that is sounds. So voice box and vocal cords. Just imagine how many languages are there, how many different kinds of people speak different. See, the way I speak and the person will not be able to speak. I speak differently. The same thing when I ask somebody else to speak, they speak differently. I can identify who is speaking what. After becoming little familiar with each other, we'll be able to identify. So those many types of voices are there. You might have seen in certain English films and all, when we see voice, for example, our cell phones also. Hello, what did we say? Alexa, yeah. Alexa, they listen to our voice and they respond. And some of the phones, they listen to the voice and they open. And some of the very security systems and all, voice identification will be there. Just like our thumb identification, fingerprint identification, iris identification, voice identification. So many people, so many different kinds of voice modulations and all that. It is possible in that small box that is called voice box. So that is there in larynx. Larynx helps in allowing the air to pass through. While allowing the air to pass through, the voice is also released. Next, coming to trachea. Trachea, I already told you, it is a delicate pipe, and to hold it so that it doesn't collapse, it has cartilaginous rings around it. And then it is divided into bronchus, this side bronchus, left bronchus, right bronchus. Left bronchus will end up into numerous bronchioles, which further end up into alveolus. And right bronchus, again the same, bronchioles, alveolus. And this is our human respiratory system. Is this all? No. And then you have diaphragm. This is now just imagine, how is it that you are able to breathe in and breathe out? Are you like that? Are you doing? No. It is happening involuntarily. How is it happening? Here, I want you to understand that these are all, when you read the textbook, you will understand them better. In men, breathing in and breathing out is done with the help of diaphragm. In females, it is done with the help of ribcage. Of course, for both of them, diaphragm is very important if the lungs are supposed to function. But maximum breathing in, breathing out does happen in men because of diaphragm and women because of rib cage. What is rib cage? First let us know what we already know. Rib cage is the cage of 12 bones which is part of a skeletal system which protects lungs and heart in it. And lungs have another protection. One of it is skeletal protection, that is rib cage. The another protection is pleura. It has pleural membrane. Lungs are covered with a pleura, 2 pleural membranes. Between that, pleural fluid is present. The membranes and the pleural fluid, they will absorb the external pressure and shocks and protect the lungs. So these are rib cage and pleural membrane and pleural fluid help the lungs from getting any kind of external damage. And then, now rib cage, I told you diaphragm. Diaphragm is actually a muscle, very strong muscle, which is in its natural, normal, relaxed stage. It is like a dome shape, natural, normal, relaxed stage. This is dome. That means if it is like this, the lungs are compressed, and because they are compressed, inside pressure is too much. Because inside pressure is too much, the air tries to escape out. Let us once again see. When diaphragm is relaxed, it is in dome shape. And when it is in dome shape, the lungs are getting compressed. If the lungs are getting compressed, inside the air pressure is more. If the air pressure is more, the air wants to escape to relieve itself from the pressure. So it goes out. Exhalation. So when diaphragm is relaxed and in dome shape, the lungs get high pressure and then the air is released out, exhalation. So exactly opposite happens when the lungs, the diaphragm is contracted. Contracted, what happens? It will become flat. Diaphragm contracts. It becomes flat. Then the lungs expand. The air pressure inside is low. Low pressure is created. So what happens? The air rushes in to fill that gap. Inhalation. Once again. Diaphragm, when it is contracting, it becomes a straight flat line. Then the lungs are expanding. When the lungs are expanding, inside pressure is becoming low. If the low pressure is created, there is gap. When gap is there, the air rushes in to fill the gap. So inhalation takes place. So that is all for today. Diaphragm is new topic that we learnt. Larynx, alveolus, epiglottis and pleural membrane. These are the new topics that we learned for today. Tomorrow we will learn a little extra about how the gases exchange takes place from nostril to lungs to alveolus to blood capillaries. This is a little detailed explanation. Tomorrow in the next session I will explain to you. Have a good day children. Bye bye.